So yesterday was WWDC for Apple, and I feel like we were all very curious to see how they would end up kind of showing this event because in case you have not been aware, they have not done very well with Apple Intelligence, and that's because they overpromised and underdelivered. And Apple's never been crazy on AI. They're debatably lagging behind the most out of these other companies, and I'm pretty sure throughout the entire event they might have said Siri twice. And, it was all information from start to finish. And, I've compiled some of my favorite iOS 26 features that I think you'll get the most out of. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So I figure we should start with the lock screen as it's the first thing you see when you turn on your phone, and as you can tell immediately, this clock is massive. Now it does not come like this standard, I did set this, but it is a very fun little detail. So let me show you notifications for a second. They're Apple's liquid glass sort of theme. It has been the theme for the WWDC 25 event. And yeah, I mean, you can see it. You can see the wallpaper through the notifications. Does it look cool? Absolutely. But I think the issue that a lot of people are running into is that it's almost too clear and it's hard to read text from time to time. And as you'll see later on in this video, but it still is cool nonetheless. And you notice too, as I'm swiping up and down, the clock itself does actually change, which is cool. But let's go ahead and edit this wallpaper. Of course, click customize, and you can see there is a grab handle to adjust the size of the clock. And something I have not seen people talk about so far is the fact that you can actually change the position of these widgets. I don't know that I'm going to be able to push it back up because it is, first beta. But when I did actually set this for the first time, I was able to pull the widget itself down. So I think that's kind of a cool look. But if you want to, you can click on the clock. You've got different options here, glass versus solid, and then different colors and width and things like that. So the next thing I want to show you is the full screen music album. So I've got a little song playing here, and if I click on this album art, it actually displays, it's live as well, as you can see by this little swinging light bulb there, but it is a full screen album cover. So that does actually bring me to the music app because as you can tell down here, there is this super cool glass thing where you can legitimately see what's going on below it as it goes over, as you can see over like the home icon there. But if you scroll up, it'll reveal it, and the attention to detail over here is great. So one more thing here, in iOS 26, you can set photos to have a bit of a 3D effect to them. And as you can see, this is my dog, and if I rotate the phone around, you can see the background is changing, and it's giving it this I really enjoy it, especially for a beta 1, but it's this very 3D-ified image. And you can actually do this with any photo. So here is one of the Galaxy S25 Edge. If I click this little button in the top corner, it'll actually analyze this photo for the subject. And as you can see, pretty quickly, and now it is sort of a 3D-ified image. So pretty cool. So as you can see, a lot of these icons have had a bit of an update. I mean, even the YouTube icon itself is different, but I want to show you the new camera app. So it also has gotten a new icon. But this camera is very simplified. I don't know why there's no outlines around the different focal lengths. I do think that would probably add to this a little bit. However, nonetheless, it is pretty cool. So you have photo, you've got video, and then if you scroll to the side, that's where your other video, photo things are going to be. So let's start with photo. Actually, if you click on the photo itself, it'll actually give you these different settings for it. So the same with video. And then if I were to go over to slow motion, it gives me settings for that. If I return back to photo mode and then go towards the top, you can see we have our format settings as well as our menu if we want to click it from up here instead. But we also have flash. And so the whole camera itself has been just simplified. It looks better. And of course we have the flip and then our recent photos right there. So like I showed you a moment ago, some of these icons are new, and I would love to point out, look at the folder as I swipe over the wallpaper. The way this light is manipulated, the way these reflections happen, I could not tell you how that was coded, but that looks pretty awesome. So what we're going to do is hold down here, and you can see we've got, nice bubble looking icons. But let's click edit. We've got a new thing coming out here. And if we click customize, you can see we've got this menu. And actually, this is a great example of how things just don't look great right now. You can see the saturation is so pumped up. And it's just you can barely read that always, especially in real life if you're looking at it. But if we ignore that, I know it'll get better with time. We've got default, dark, clear, and tinted. So if we click clear, it's actually going to switch all of our icons over to this clear style, which is interesting. It's going to take some getting used to, but I do think it does look pretty cool if it's done right. You do have to have a bit of a darker wallpaper though, as some of these brighter ones are they're harder to see. But we can also go into the tinted section and actually tint these apps. So they now have a bit of a white theme with the color behind them, versus with iOS 18, it was the color behind a black theme. So we can just go through and change this, and you know, it's a very fun thing to be able to do. But change the opacity, you know, make it look kind of cool. It's got kind of a oh, they're not loading, but it does have a bit of a cool blue tint to it. So you can see the settings app has also had a little bit of an upgrade, but I want to click on battery because there is a ton that has changed with the battery section. And for starters, you can see it's loading here, but it gives us our charge right here, our last charge, and I'll put a picture on screen of where I have it plugged in, and it actually estimates, I assume with some kind of Apple Intelligence, when the device will be fully charged. But that's pretty cool. If we scroll down, we've got our normal battery health as usual right there, but we've also got a charging menu as well as a power mode. Now, this is a new option in iOS 26. It says, when your battery usage is higher than usual, iPhone can make small performance adjustments to extend your battery life. But even when you plug your phone up, you can see at the very top beside the date, it will actually give you a quick snippet of information for when the phone will be done charging. So another very feature-packed app is actually the Messages app. So I have a thread with myself here. And you can see it does look a little bit different. The name in the top is slightly different. And as well as actually the keyboard too has been updated with iOS 26 ever so slightly. But what we can do is actually click on my name here and then click backgrounds. And then we actually have all new backgrounds we can choose from. So we can go through different photos, of course, but we can also generate some with Image Playground. We've got photos with sky, watercolor, or aurora. But if we click sky right here, we can go through different options. It's a little bit slow, but actually it's not too bad. So let's just click this. Actually, yeah, we'll go sunrise. Then we'll click the check mark, and as you can see, if we swipe out, the sky itself actually follows kind of what we're doing. So it's pretty cool. It's kind of it's a moving animation, so it's kind of cycling through. Now, some of these photos that you may have on here can be fairly distracting and hard to actually see the messages. So I'm sure that's something that'll have to be worked out. But overall, it's pretty cool. I love the little glow you get when you click on this here. So in a group chat, if we click on the plus icon, we actually have an option for polls. And so you can send that and add multiple choices and have people in your group chat vote for what option they prefer. So cool enough, we actually did win with the Photos app. As you can see in this library tab, this is of course just all of the regular photos, but if we click the collections button right here, you can see we've got a list of all different types of content in the photos as well as utilities. And so it's better, it's cleaner, it's easier to use, and I think it's pretty cool that we kind of settled with Apple in the middle here. It's new, it's modern looking, but it's also easier to use. So I've hopped over to the Apple website because I want to show you two more super cool features. So this first one is call screening, and I know this is something that a lot of Pixel users for sure love, but it says call screening automatically answers unknown callers without interrupting you. And so once the caller shares their name and the reason for their call, your phone will ring and then you can decide if you would like to pick it up or not. So that means that there's no more kind of unwanted spam, and it makes this whole process a lot easier. The other one I want to show you is a feature called Hold Assist. And so basically, Hold Assist keeps your spot in line while you wait for a live agent and notifies you when they're ready. So basically, it detects hold music, it allows you to just leave the call, even turn off your phone, go back doing whatever you were doing, and it keeps your spot in line. And so that way, when somebody comes back, it'll let them know if you're taking a second to get to the phone. But that way, you get to avoid the whole waiting in line part. So the last feature is translating languages in a call. And so if you're calling somebody who does not speak your language, you can see on the phone call, it will actually display in text what the person is saying. So I do hope you did enjoy this video. There is a ton more that will be covered. I'll of course make other following videos for that. But if you like this type of content and want to see more like it, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell as it helps me out a ton. I enjoyed making this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. So yeah, bye guys.